Welcome to the Voice Mood. I'm your host, Olivia Peck, your local millennial voice teacher. Hey, hi, how are you? Do you want to become a better singer? Yeah, we all do, I think. That's why I love teaching voice lessons. I've been doing it for about 10 years now. I've found that a lot of people don't want to become like the next big thing, the next Whitney Houston. They just want to like their voice. They want to find their sound, find their voice, and have the foundation they need to sing what they want. So, today, that's what we're going to be talking about, a lot of the basics and a lot about what we do in voice lessons and try to bring that to you here on YouTube. If you have any questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them. And away we go. So, today, as I said, we're going to be talking about how to find your voice. So, that entails how to understand your range and the different parts of your range, understanding your natural vocal timbre and vocal weight, how to change your tone if you don't like it, and how to embrace your style. So they're in a specific order. These are things that come up in voice lessons, and there's so much to singing, but I'm going to try to give you some actionable things today. And of course, if you have questions, drop them in the chat and I will answer them while I'm going through this stuff. I also have some great questions from the week and comments that I will read to you and share with you all. Y'all know that you can leave a comment and I'll answer on the lives if you wish. So here we go. We're going to keep moving right along here. And y'all know you can book a lesson with me on oliviapeck.com. I'll mention that a couple of times so you don't forget. I'm really excited. I have some specials going on for the holidays. So check those out if you're interested in learning with me. All right. So let's move right along here. Understanding your range. If you want to find your voice, the first step is likely going to be finding your range. So, what does that mean? Typically, it means you have a set of notes that you're able to hit. Okay. Can you hit this one? Can you hit this one? Knowing where your lowest and highest notes are is just the beginning, and you can find it on your own or you can find it with a voice teacher. The reason why it's so great to find your range is because then you can pick the right songs to sing or adjust songs so it fits your voice. So I really encourage you to find your range. And how do you do that? There's a couple of ways to find your range, okay? Maybe you already have a good idea, but sing some songs, find ones that feel comfortable. Can you match the pitch of the singer that you're emulating here? Or is it feeling pinched? Is it feeling too high or too low? Is your voice dropping out because it's just way too low? That's a possibility too. So you want to find a song or a set of songs that feel comfortable. Okay. So for me, when I was first learning pop music, Lady Gaga songs just felt so comfy for me. Let me know in the comments or in the chat if there's a artist that you feel is just like perfect for your voice. And that will help you have a springboard to jump off of when you're looking for, okay, well, what type of range are we looking at? So in singing, there are four basic vocal ranges. Soprano's the highest, typically female presenting. Alto is a lower female presenting voice. Tenor is the highest male presenting, and then bass is the lowest. And oftentimes we talk about baritones, who are right in between. And it's great when you take a voice lesson to know, oh, I'm more of a baritone, or oh, I'm more of a soprano, because artists write songs that fit their voices. So we want to find what types of songs would fit your voice. That everyone's voice is different, and once you know, opens up a whole world of possibilities, and then you know you're not trying to do something that's just not fitting your natural voice. Anyway, so there is a step further you can go. Once you know what type of range you have, there is a step further you can go. And this brings us to a question we had this week, and I'm going to show it to you. So, meow, meow, meow. If y'all know me, y'all know I love using the meow, meow, meow exercise. Such understandable info, he says. Thanks. I'm a baritone with some decent tenor range. He's talking about Everything That Glitters by Michael Martin Murphy is a song I work on. I'd entirely flip into head voice more so before. Now I don't need to as much. Is that a good song to work on my mix, you think? Okay, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty right away, talking about mixed voice. Okay, this is where you can take your range knowledge a step further, finding what part of your range does your mixed voice live in. Typically, it's going to be your middle high area, is where that is easily popping out. And I like to use the exercise meow, 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 meow. Very gentle, very pingy, bright sound to help find that clarity that comes through when we're using what a lot of us call mixed voice. Okay. So when you are able to access these different voices, you're able to create the sound you want within your range. Follow me? Okay, so mixed voice, he once he was able to unlock that, everything that glitters was easier. Let's talk about everything that glitters as if you're my student, okay? So I know you might be a baritone with a tenor range, so you're like you're a male presenting voice and you have sort of not a super low voice, not a super high voice, you're somewhere in the middle. That's what I understand. So let's listen to the beginning of this song and go to the beginning here. Can y'all hear that? Okay, saw your picture on. I already know based on what I know about baritones that that's in probably a mid to high part of their range. So remember what I said about the meows? Meows and the mixed voice, that's around where you want to start accessing that to get that clarity. Saw your picture on meow, 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 meow. Anytime you have anything in that area, you want to think, okay, I might use my mix. I might ease up on the gas a little bit, not push too hard. That's stuff that happens just from knowing a little bit more about your range. Meow, 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 meow. Now, as we go through this song, I listened to it earlier for this commenter. I noticed that a lot of the song sits in that middle high, which could be really good for finding your mix, but it also might cause you to push a little bit. Okay. The higher we go in our voice, sometimes people have a hard time not pushing the higher they go. So if you find yourself pushing when you sing, and you want to find a way to not push and not feel that tension, maybe go for a song that's sitting a little bit easier in your range, a little bit lower, and really settle into those low notes. And really relax that. Say for me, hey, and really feel that vibration. Hey. You want to let your voice drop down like that to sort of reset into your comfy, low, resonant, free range. Okay. Because as we get higher, we want to maintain that relaxation, but it can be a little bit tricky to do at first. So resetting into a lower song helps. I posted this on the comment, but a good way to find songs for what you're trying to do is to look at my mixed voice playlist, and it has like a bunch of songs that are great for beginning mixed voice. So if you're looking at like ain't no sunshine shine, that wah sound helps you find that ping, that forward easy almost whiny sound that we want when we do mixed voice, but it's not super high. That's more of a bass baritone song, for example. Okay. So try flambe. So I don't know who that is. I'm reading the comments now. Try to sing an A2. I don't know if I can sing A2. I don't think I can. I'm like a soprano mezzo. All great comments. Thank y'all. I might have to learn what that song is. I don't know. I'm getting some suggestions here. Okay, moving right along. So, bottom line is if you can sing meow very gently, it's going to help with finding that freedom in high notes, a little bit of a clear belt sound. It's going to help you with relaxing those muscles around your larynx. It's considered like an SOVT exercise, blah, 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 technical words. But basically, it's just a really great technique to use. And that's why I pretty much consider myself Meow University because I've seen what it can do to help all kinds of students with all kinds of voices. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, understanding your natural vocal timbre and weight. Who knows what vocal timbre is? Anybody? Anybody? So, vocal timbre is the way your voice quality sounds. Is it harsh? Think like Jessie J, really harsh sound, or Teddy Swims, more of a harsh sound. Think about a more warm tone, like Josh Scrubb, you raise me up. That's more warm timbre, just naturally, and because of the things he does with his voice. Think about a smoky timbre, like Adele or Miley Cyrus. Think about a more bright timbre like Kristen Bell. Do you want to build a snowman? Okay, that's more bright, more clear. So everyone has a different timbre based on them, the way they're made up, the way they sing, the way they talk, the way your accent is. All these things affect the way your sound pops out when you sing. And you know what? You probably have more than one. The way that I sound in my low voice might be a little warmer and smokier than the way that I sound in my high voice. Two different timbres throughout my range. You want to try to smooth it out a little bit or bring out different colors, and you can change it a little bit, but we all have sort of a natural timbre. So when you think about that, the reason why it's important is because it sets up clear expectations. Clear expectations. Who do you sound like? Do you know? I was just talking to a student today, and he asked me what I think he sounds like, and I gave him some examples. And the reason why it helps set up clear expectations is if, let's say, I don't know that I have a more clear voice, a lighter voice, and then I try to sing something like Teddy Swims, and I'm like, why can't I do that? What's the deal? Well, I have to set up some clear expectations. I'm not going to sound like Teddy Swims because naturally my voice is a lot clearer, right? So setting up those expectations is important. This brings me to a great comment that we had this week, and I will bring that up here. Oh, not that one. Yes, here we go. Yeah, and if y'all have questions, let me know in the chat ski, and I will do my best to answer because I want to know what you're thinking and what's going on. All right, so this basically says it was a nice comment that someone said I sounded like Susan Tedeschi and another awesome bluesy rock artist. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Hello. Oh, and Renee Geyer. So this was really helpful for me. So even though I feel like I understand my voice really well, when I get a comment like that, I go, oh, well, now I'm going to go to that artist and listen to their music, try out some of the things they do, and I might be able to achieve something that they do because our voices are a little similar. It's a great springboard. You don't want to go down the route of mimicking too much, but that's why in voice lessons, I will sometimes, if y'all want, come up with a playlist of artists that kind of are similar in tone quality and vocal range. And it tends to be more helpful than trying to sing something that's not the right fit. So that can really help a lot. Okay. So there's that. Now let's talk about how to change your tone. So a lot of people just don't like the way they sound. Sometimes you just need to get used to the sound of your voice a little bit, but sometimes you do want to know how to control your voice, and that comes down to a lot of different things, okay? Comes down to, first of all, being able to sing the right pitches and sing musically, sing the melody, being able to uh, shape your vocal tract, so your vowels, being able to control your breath, the amount of breath you use when you sing, and how you manage it throughout a phrase. This is what vocal warm-ups help with, and I like to tailor them depending on the type of person I'm dealing with and your needs. Um, and what else? Expression, the way you express yourself with a song. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I'm singing Man in the Mirror. Love that song. Okay. And I'm going, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. And I have a closed mouth. Okay. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah. How easy is that to sing with a closed mouth? Not too much. I could feel my throat start to close up. Let's see what it sounds like open more. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Totally different sound. I was also smiling. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah. Now let's see what happens when I have taller vowels. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Totally different sound. Let's say I'm pushing. A lot of people push. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Not a super free sound. Let's try it a little more speaky. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. A little more flat. Let's try it with a meow. So meow university, people. Meow, 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 meow. I love the meow because you can easily punch it up to get that belt sound you want without creating a lot of tension. Let's try achieving the meow without singing meow, but the words meow, meow, meow. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Low breath pressure. A lot of people really desire that low breathy sound that you hear a lot these days. So thank y'all for chiming in, by the way. Hi. Let me know if you have any questions too about singing, and I'll do my best to answer. So when you hear someone like Gracie Abrams or Billie Eilish or a lot of these singers who have a very low breath pressure, it's like, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. You have to realize that what they're doing is they're not pushing out a lot of air. They're managing their pitches and the melody on a very intimate level. And if I were to step away from the microphone, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. You might realize how quietly I'm really singing. So when you watch these little concerts or music videos or whatever, you have to realize that that type of singing takes very little breath pressure, very little intensity, and they've got that microphone right here. Okay. So, and typically have a little bit of reverb on their voice and things like that. So that's something to think about, and why everyone is different. Everybody's starting from a different baseline. So let's say you want that really breathy sound, okay? But you sound more like, I'm starting with a man in the mirror, and you're like, but I want a more breathy sound. You got to bring it way down volume wise. Use a little less push, a little less breath. Almost like you're off your voice is how I think of it. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh, yeah. The trick is you don't want to sing just super quietly or whispery. I'm not really whispering. I'm just singing with a low intensity. Okay. If that makes sense. If I were to whisper it, it would sound like I'm starting with a man. And we don't want to do that. In fact, that does not feel good to do. So, something to think about. Um, Here's a good question. Is it possible as a female to sing in a manly voice? So, I really like this question because there's so many ways you can go about this and approach this. So let's say you're working with me and you're like, I want a more deep sound, maybe a lower to lean into my lower voice more. I would think about artists like Amy Winehouse or other artists who really lean into their chest voice. So Valerie, they are not afraid to go there and really settle into that rattly low range. Another thing that you might be thinking of that I guess you could attribute to I don't know if manly is the word that I would use, but if you want more grit in your voice, and I don't mean to equate like manliness with power or grit necessarily, but unfortunately, I feel like I have to kind of go out on a tangent here and just I'm grasping at straws maybe. But maybe that's what you're talking about. If you want something a little bit less delicate, I guess, for lack of better words, you can look at grit, brightness, more of a rock sound. So you look at Rod Stewart and he uses uh not opening his mouth so much. So like I'm starting with the man in the mirror. He doesn't open his mouth very much. He gets into that cry, whiny thing and it brings out a little bit of grit, a little bit of safe constriction, that type of thing. So you might want to go down the avenue of finding healthy grit, that type of thing, I guess. If that helps. Anyway, let's go to the next thing. So let's say you want to take voice lessons and you're like, okay, but how does this work? Basically, I'm looking at, as I said, your baseline. What voice are you using right now? Do you already sing in a breathy voice and you want to have a more clear voice? Then we try to find exercises that make sense to get you from point A to point B. It just makes more sense than, trying to figure it out on your own and just go with all of the basic exercises that are out there. It's a lot faster when we can tailor it to where you are starting from. That's one thing about watching videos doesn't give you is okay, but where are you starting from though? Because maybe you already do sing. Let's say you want to find a better mix voice or belt, but maybe you already do sing with a lot of mix or a lot of belt qualities, but we need to just figure out how to bring that higher in your voice. So, um, that is something that I recommend. Okay, lastly about this, here's what I recommend if you want to be able to change your voice a lot like what I was just doing. If you can learn how to tune your ear to different sounds and match that what you're hearing to how to create that sound, it's a lot easier to go, oh, well, in Taylor Swift's Ophelia, she went into this type of voice, and that's how you create this type of voice. So it's really tuning your ear to different sounds and being able to recreate it. All right. So, um, how to embrace your style. This is the last thing that I'll talk about in terms of what we're going over with finding your voice. And if you have any questions, let me know. I would love to answer your singing questions. That's why we're here today. So, how to embrace your style. Folks, I go through this with my students and it's an amazing journey. If you can sing in tune, know how to control these different voices, understand your range, find the right songs that fit your voice, if you can do all that stuff and do it, all the technical stuff, your style, your expression is going to most of the time naturally pop out. Sure, we might need to give you a little push, like, oh, get a little louder here, try this. But if you can achieve those technical things that we're talking about, chances are your style is just going to pop out and you don't need to manufacture it. Trust me, trust me. All right. And this is a good little question. How do you sing the low note in New Year's Day by Taylor Swift? So I think it's like New Year's Day is like down there. Let's see. You'll have to check me on that. That's an F 3. What I just sang, I have no clue if that is it, but I think it's around there. The question you might have to ask is A, is it in your range? So if you are a female presenting voice, alto, likely you'll be able to sing that note. New Year's Day. And I would just say, let your voice drop. Is it a C? Day. Day. New Year's Day. So C4 would be New Year's Day. C3, I can't sing that low. Day. I can't sing that low. So I would just say you want to, if it is in your range, if you can get there, you want to relax. Think your speaking voice. New Year's Day, or whatever it is. Relax into it. Maybe do it in a hum into it. New Year's Day. Sometimes it helps students when I say, put it a little nasal. New Year's Day, helps bring it forward a little bit and not get too trapped back here. So you could try that if it's in your range. The thing is about low notes is sometimes we think, oh, I can push my voice lower. Not really. Your voice can expand. Range can expand over time as you become grow as a vocalist, but sometimes it's just that's where you tap out. Like I said, I can't sing a C3. I just can't, and I never will. I probably never will because that's just how I'm made. Like it's too low. So, uh consider that as well. All right. So, what your first time of the year to start singing voice? Good question. So I guess what's the best time of year maybe to start singing? Is that what you mean? Um, so I don't know, probably now. Feel like when should I start singing? This is the best time. But I actually personally like to sing um in anytime, I guess that's not winter, actually. Down here in the South, it's nice and humid, and as it cools down, it gets a little drier, so I guess, fire up that humidifier and, you'll get some nice effects from that humidity. It's good for la voce, okay? Anyway, here's a good question. I feel like it depends on the day. Maybe tired voice or morning voice can go lower. Yeah, so it can depend on the day. It can depend on a lot of different things, actually. So, for instance, this past week was very taxing for me. I was shooting a film and there was a lot of dialogue and I had to sing in it and it was a lot of long days. And today when I was singing with students, you know, it was all gravy. It was good, but you know, I could hear little cracklies in my voice and stuff like that because it's tired and it's still recovering from a long week of strenuous activity. So, yeah, your voice will change based on if it's recovering from something, either illness or overuse, which we try not to do, but it does happen. It can it can be different if you didn't get enough sleep, your hormones. So for women, a lot of women experience a range change and a lot of changes in their voice around their cycle, and so hormones play into it. For men, I know that I don't know how much their hormones really affect their voice, to be honest, but I know that their cycle of hormones is more on a daily basis as opposed to the female cycle, which is more on a monthly basis. So it's definitely stuff you want to factor in, your health things. Some of my students use medicinal smoking, or whatever medications they're on, and that affects their voice, and just factoring in recovery so that they can sing healthily is really important. So there's different things that affect your voice, basically, and you do want to be aware of that and set the right expectations for yourself. How many vocal octave range do I sing? I'm not sure. Probably like 2.5, 3. Yeah, I don't know, but it's not something I check a lot. That's one octave, but I didn't quite get all the way to the C, and then that's another C, so that's 2 octaves, and that's high C up there. But I'm pretty tired, so it's not really a great representation, but yeah, it's around like 3-ish, but not quite. Okay, moving on. How to embrace your style. We talked about that a little bit, and I have a really good comment from the week based on that topic here that I wanted to share with you guys. Let's go to that. So I'll read it to you. Oh, that's not it. Sorry. Okay, I've been trying to sing my song that I've written, and I haven't pulled it off too good, especially on time. After watching the video, it all makes sense. Thanks to you. Thanks for the comment. So this particular video that this commenter is talking about is the full voice lesson video, which I'll link all of these videos that relate to the topics we're talking about today in the description and the comments. But yeah, my full voice lesson video covers how to go through a song bit by bit. What are the notes? What are the little runs? What vowel, how to vowel modification, timing, all that stuff. So once you nail down those fundamentals and that video goes through everything, then it's a lot easier to unleash your style. It just naturally comes out. So I want to tell you a quick story about a lesson I had just today, even. So I had a student singing Golden. She did an amazing job. And her placement was great. She's using the mix. We're going up, 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 up. She had a great placement. And it was pretty close, but she's like, I just feel like it's not refined. There's something missing. And I said, sing it with a little bit of attitude. Immediately, when she started singing it, I was a ghost, I didn't know. She was moving a little bit. The expression was there. Everything started to click into place because she did the work. She learned the notes. She figured out the placement, and then she was able to relax into it. And naturally, letting go a little bit and singing it with a little bit of attitude was kind of that finishing touch that it needed. Right? Okay, pretty awesome. So sometimes it's something that's simple, when you're just trying to find your style, it'll naturally pop out. Um, yeah. Here's a question. I have a great question. How to sing the low note in K-pop Demon Hunter. So this is similar to what I was talking about earlier on how to access a lower note. But, if you're thinking about that specific song, how she creates that warmth, I didn't know. She creates warmth in her voice with vibrato. Huh? Da-da-da, huh? La-da-da. Try it on a O. Oh, like a nice round O sound. Oh, in a head voice, a low head voice. And that should give you the warmth you desire, as opposed to like, I didn't know. That's more speaky. I didn't know. More, oh, almost go into opera zone. Hope that helps. Let me know. But yes, exactly. Oh, exactly. So if let's pretend we're in a voice lesson, okay? So we're trying to find your style. First, we're going to find the right song. So I'm gonna say if my student is a lot like me, that Joanne, the song Joanne by Lady Gaga. Does anybody know it? Take my hand, stay Joanne. That song's really straightforward for me. It fits my voice. So great pick. Then we're going to figure out all the technical stuff. So we learn all the notes. Got them. Okay, check. We did that. Next, we're going to break down what's happening in the song because it changes. Like in the beginning, we realize that it's take my hand, stay Joe, heaven's not. That's like all chest voice. It's all right here. Heaven's not ready for you. Gotta lighten up there. Ready. That's almost going into my first break. So I gotta ease up on the gas. Okay. Then let's go to the chorus. Okay. Let's nail that down. Girl, where do you think you're going? That's more head voice. Where do you think you're going? Ooh, let's fix those fast moving notes. Going. And breaking them down and then speeding them up. Going, girl. Nailing down the fast moving pitches. And then you try to put it all together, basically. Naturally, if I do everything right and I figure out how I want to sing it and where I go into mixed voice, chest voice, head voice, if you want to break it down that way, then we can break down how to let go and make it your own. Okay. Got a question. Where are you from and where do you live at? So I'm from Michigan. You might be able to hear that in my accent. And I live in the greater New Orleans area. So if you are from New Orleans, I'm right in your neighborhood. I'm around. Da, 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 da. All right. So let's talk about some other stuff. Let's talk about last week's live. All right. So Kevin had a really good comment, and I just want to bring that up because I thought it was such a sweet comment. So last week I was talking about autotune and was talking about the golden performance because there was some pitch correcting as proven by Phil, the creator of Wings of Pegasus, and he's a producer and a musician, fantastic, and he analyzes on YouTube things that have pitch correction. So I brought attention to it because I heard some chatter, and Kevin, one of the gentlemen who interacts with the channel, friend of the channel, brought it up. So let's look at what Kevin said here, talking about that. Great, you did this video. A lot of voice coaches on YouTube are waxing lyrical about live performances, not glossing over. They're ignoring the fact that it was so processed, and they are getting a lot of stick from various quarters because of their lack of openness on the performance. And basically, he's like, thanks for talking about this. So thanks, Kevin. So yeah, I appreciate this a lot. When you've got a high profile live performance, you have to kind of expect at this point that there's going to be some pitch correction, auto tune, whatever you want to call it. And if you want to watch that video, it's up there. But another thing you want to be aware of is most songs that you hear on the radio, I would say in the mainstream, have pitch correction. And now there's even AI top in the charts. So we have to know that yes, what we are hearing has been tinkered with. So if we're trying to achieve the same sound, sing these songs, tuning our ear to what's been tinkered with is good because then we know, okay, well, this artist probably spent a lot of time in the booth singing the same little piece over and over again, or this person sang this live in quotes, but they were using a pitch corrector to snap their vocals into place. So, you know, being able to sing this live might actually be harder than what it seems, that kind of thing. It's just being aware of that element. And when we analyze this stuff on YouTube or in voice lessons, to just know that, the technology is out there to fill in the blanks when technically you're not able to achieve something. With that being said, I I never want people to think that you can't achieve a lot of what we hear live. It's just the perfection, the level of perfection that is what is done in high profile performances is technically like impossible most of the time. Okay. So anyway, great channel if you watch Phil's Wings of Pegasus channel. He talks all about that stuff. Anyway, yada yada yada. Yes, make sure you're subscribed if you are interested in this kind of stuff, and y'all know where to find me if you'd like a one-on-one. And lastly, if y'all don't have any questions, you can definitely ask me in the chat. But lastly, I'll just talk about what's going on in the studio, some housekeeping. So my students know this, and if you're part of the Facebook group, I'll probably make a post about it there, but students definitely know that there's a special going on right now. So it's the holidays coming up, and for you, my viewers, $5 voice memos right now. So send me a voice memo for $5 USD. It's super easy to do on the website, and I will send you a voice memo in response and give you some actionable things right now to help you sing better. You can also take advantage of the 45-minute voice lesson special, and there's also a voice lesson package. You can also request a gift certificate uh, as well if you would like to gift voice. Like, give the gift of singing. But if you do it sooner rather than later, you'll avoid a wait list. So I do have some space. So jump on it now, but soon there might be, I only have a few spots for regular times right now. So just be aware that it's a possibility you may have to wait. I think I'll be able to squeeze anybody in soon though. Anyway, if you don't have any other questions, I might jump off soon, but this has been really fun, and I love talking about singing with y'all, and I always appreciate the super sweet comments that I get. It's super encouraging for me, and I love helping you find your voice. So let me know. Let me know if you have any other questions, and if not, I will hop off. But it's been a joy, and stay tuned for the next one. It'll be a Wednesday coming soon. I have a couple special episodes coming up as well that feature other artists. So I'm excited to share those. And yeah. All right. Well, have a great day. And remember to take care of yourself and each other, as Lester Holt says. Bye.